I stood by the tall champagne tower, pretending to sip from the glass I'd been holding for over 20 minutes. Terry hadn't seen me yet, but his mother had. She looked at me like I was the ghost that refused to die. Her eyes scanned me from my synthetic ponytail to my cheap heels, then shifted away like she was too disgusted to speak. The wedding singer was performing some high-pitched Yoruba love song. The crowd was clapping, the bride was laughing, and the man I used to call husband was dancing like he didn't once swear I was the love of his life. Terry had invited me to this wedding, not because he wanted peace, not because he wanted closure, but because he wanted to disgrace me, to remind me, again, that I was the barren ex-wife he dumped like old generator parts. And me? I came, not to fight, not to beg, but to watch. That's what I told myself, until the moment came and everything flipped. 6 weeks earlier. "You're joking, right?" my best friend Karen asked, almost choking on her Zobo. I nodded, waving the card in her face. "Wedding invite from my ex-husband." She snatched it and read out loud, "Terry and Liam cordially invite you to their wedding." She paused. "Liam?" "Yes, his new wife, influencer girl. I think she sells fake eyelashes online or something." Karen's eyes widened. "You mean that Instagram girl with the filtered forehead?" I burst out laughing. "That's the one." Karen threw the card on the table. "So why are you even considering going? Are you mad?" I didn't answer immediately. Truth is, I didn't know. Maybe I was mad. Maybe I wanted to see what kind of woman replaced me. Maybe I wanted to prove I wasn't bitter. Maybe I just didn't want to look like I was hiding. "I'll just attend and leave early," I said quietly. "Sit at the back, eat small jollof, and go. No drama." Karen looked at me like I'd grown 2 heads. "Bianca, you were married to that man for 5 years. You cried on my chest when his mother called you empty drum. You begged that man to follow you to fertility clinics. He left you like you were a cursed rag, and now you want to go and smile at his wedding?" "I'm not going to smile," I said, standing up to refill my cup. "I'm going to watch. That's all." I remembered the night Terry packed his bags. "I need children, Bianca," he said coldly. "You failed me." "Terry, I'm trying. I don't want a woman who's always trying. I want a woman who can give me twins, just like my grandfather had. But we still have options. I've made up my mind." And like that, he left. 3 months later, Instagram showed me photos of him and Liam at Landmark Beach, kissing and drinking Chapman. Hey, story lovers, if you're enjoying this drama so far, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. More spicy, emotional, and dramatic African stories like this drop every single day. Support the channel. It's free but means the world to us. Now back to the story. I looked at myself in the cracked mirror in my one-room apartment. Brown lipstick, wig brushed out nicely. My gown wasn't new, but it fit well. I looked decent. The twins were with Auntie Grace in Asaba. They had no idea where I was going. They thought I was traveling for a customer's bridal order. I sighed. My stomach flipped. Was I really going to do this? My phone buzzed. It was a text from Terry's cousin, Gary. "Can't believe you're actually coming. Better don't embarrass yourself. Liam's family is rich. Dress well." I hissed. Deleted the message. Who told him I wanted to compete with his new bride? I took a bolt ride to the venue. As I stepped out, I could feel the judgment before I even reached the gate. Photographers, ushers, ex-in-laws, all side-eyeing me. Someone muttered, "She has mind sha." I ignored it. Terry and Liam were posing for pictures under the giant floral arch. Liam was wearing a backless wedding dress, her hair packed into a slick bun with Swarovski pins. Terry looked like a politician with money to waste. Then he saw me. His smirk came immediately. He turned to whisper something to Liam, and they both laughed. I felt heat rise to my face. But I kept walking, head up, smile frozen. I wasn't here to fight. I was here to watch. Or so I thought. Because something unexpected, something I didn't plan, was about to turn this whole wedding into a movie. And when I say movie, I mean the type that trends on TikTok and gets people screaming, "She didn't come to play." They placed me at table 19, far from the action, right by the giant standing fan that blew dust from the artificial grass into my juice. Perfect. Everyone else was dressed like they were attending a royal ceremony. Gold gel, burgundy lace, ankara with stones. Me, a decent gown, black heels, and a plastic clutch bag that refused to snap shut. Karen had begged me not to go. I smiled now, sipping dust-flavored orange juice. The MC, one light-skinned guy with overconfidence and shiny lips, screamed into the mic, "Can we all make some noise for the hottest couple in Port Harcourt, Mr. and Mrs. Terry Oname?" The crowd clapped. Terry and Liam entered with fireworks exploding from the sides. Her dress was so tight, I was sure she couldn't sit without the zipper crying for help. Terry wore a white agbada with gold embroidery. He looked richer, more polished. But I knew better. I had washed his boxers when he had holes in them. I had hawked engagement rings with him on Instagram Live. I had borrowed money from my tailor to help him buy fake followers when his business wasn't booming. Now look at him, marrying money, smiling like he was born into class. I looked away until I heard it. "Ah, is that Bianca? Terry's ex? Nawa-oh, she get mine to come?" See as she dey sit like second-hand invitation. People whispered like I was deaf. But I didn't flinch. I just adjusted my gown and reached for Puff Puff. That's when I saw him walking toward me. Gary, Terry's cousin, the same one who once told me if you can't give him children, free him na. He leaned in, smiling with wicked teeth. "Bianca, wow, you look not bad," I smiled back. "You too. You look like you borrowed someone's perfume." He laughed awkwardly. "You haven't changed." I leaned closer. "Neither has your mouth. Still smelling like expired confidence." He walked away quickly. Small win. But then the worst part started. The MC started wedding games. "Ladies and gentlemen, this next game is for couples only. Married or engaged, ooh. Don't come and embarrass us." Couples ran up. Music started. Chairs disappeared. Liam laughed like a schoolgirl. Terry threw his arms around her waist like he forgot the woman he left. One auntie beside me giggled. "See love. Real love. Not all these trial and error marriages." I smiled. "Your wig is shifting, auntie. Adjust it before you speak nonsense." She adjusted her wig quickly and faced front. As they played the games, as the crowd laughed, as the champagne bottles popped and phones flashed, something happened. A black G-Wagon rolled up by the gate. It didn't honk. It didn't rev. It just parked, quietly. Two men in dark shades stepped out first. Then the back door opened, and out came my sons. Liam was just about to throw the bouquet when the MC paused. "Ah! What's going on there? Who'd they arrive again?" People turned. The G-Wagon was shining like oil money. And right there, standing in front of it, were two little boys, maybe 6 years old, wearing matching cream-colored suits with black velvet lapels. They were holding hands. Calm, composed, and familiar. Terry froze. Liam looked confused. I stood up slowly. I hadn't called them. I swear I hadn't. I had sent them to stay with Auntie Grace in Asaba for a reason, to protect them from this madness. So what were they doing here? And who brought them? Then I saw him. Gary. He was standing at the far end, biting his lip, looking panicked. It clicked. Gary had seen me at the table. He had laughed. He had mocked me. But what I didn't know was, he had also been watching me on Facebook. The private photos I had once posted of the twins. A few friends, close family, limited audience. He had seen them, and he brought them here. But why? To cause trouble? To destroy me? Or was this another move by Terry? My head was spinning. The crowd was murmuring. Who are those boys? Who are those boys? They look like Terry-O. I swear, even the ears resemble his own. Liam was looking at Terry now. He had gone pale. Terry, she whispered, who are they? I don't know, he said, backing away. I swear I don't know. Why do they look like you? I said I don't know. The MC, in classic walk-a-pass mode, tried to control the crowd. Maybe not some wedding guests, kids. Let's focus on bouquet. but the boys had already started walking toward the stage. The younger one, Luca, raised his hand. "Daddy?" Liam dropped the bouquet. Phones came out. People were gasping. Terry's mother stood up and shouted, "What nonsense is this? Who brought these bastards here?" I stepped forward. "Watch your mouth, Mummy Terry. That's your grandchildren you're calling bastards." Silence. Pure, holy silence. Even the DJ stopped the music. I walked to the twins and gently rested a hand on their shoulders. "I didn't plan this," I said loudly. "But God planned it." Terry was shaking. "You told me I couldn't have children. You abandoned me. You humiliated me, and now, these are your sons." A quick flashback to London. After Terry left, I traveled to London to stay with my cousin. While there, my doctor recommended a full fertility workup. I found out my eggs were fine. My womb was okay. The problem had been Terry all along, but I didn't tell anyone. Instead, I used the stored sperm sample from an old IVF trial we had done together. One attempt, one success. Twin boys, born in silence, raised in love, hidden in plain sight. Back at the wedding, Liam grabbed Terry's arm. "You have kids? And you didn't tell me!" Terry was breathing hard. "I didn't know. I swear, I thought she never told me. I wouldn't tell a man who called me a curse," I said. "I wouldn't tell a man who spat in my face and married the first woman with iPhone 14 Pro Max." The crowd went mad. Laughter. Gasps. Some even clapped. Liam's father stood up. "Is this true?" he asked Terry, voice cold. Terry opened his mouth, but no words came out. Liam threw her bouquet at his chest and screamed. "The wedding is off!" The MC tried to step in. Security tried to calm things, but nothing could fix it now. Terry's mother was the first to recover. She marched toward me, wrapper flapping like a fighting rooster's wings. "You witch!" she shouted. "You planned all this. You want to scatter his joy." "Mummy Terry, I beg, don't try me," I said, voice calm. "Don't call me a witch just because your son's sperm finally worked when peace entered my life." "Lies!" she screamed. "How are we sure those boys are even his?" I knelt beside Luca and Logan. "Boys, what's your surname?" Logan spoke up, cool and collected. "Onome." "And your father's name?" "Terrence Chigozie Onome," Luca said, eyes focused on her like he was in court. The crowd exploded in noise. "Ah, no be play again-o! That's his full name!" She even trained them to answer sharp. I stood up. "You want DNA? I have it." I pulled a folded document from my clutch. "Paternity test. Done 3 months ago. 99.9% match. I didn't come here to beg. I came here to return what's his." Terry's knees almost gave way. He sat down slowly, hands on his head. I didn't know," he muttered. "You didn't tell me, Bianca." "You didn't ask. You told me I was barren. You threw me out like I was a bad investment. Why should I share my miracle with a man who used my tears to wash another woman's feet?" Liam's makeup was smudged now, tears mixed with foundation. "You let me plan a whole wedding while you had secret children?" she asked Terry, voice shaking. "I didn't know. I swear, Liam, I swear on my father's grave!" Her father, who had been quiet all this while, finally stood. Chief Gary Uzo, oil magnate, political donor, and father of the almost bride. He adjusted his agbada and walked toward the stage like a man going to court. "Terrence," he said, voice calm but stern, "are you telling me you had a relationship with this woman, divorced her, then married my daughter without disclosing any of this?" Terry stood up shakily. "Chief, sir, I didn't know about the twins. But you knew about her?" "Yes, sir." "And you didn't think to tell us your ex-wife was a known face in this town? That she was once your bride?" Terry tried to speak, but Chief Uzo raised a hand. "No need, Liam." "Yes, Daddy?" "Pick up your bag." "But Daddy," I said, "pick up your bag. This wedding is over." Gasps filled the garden. The caterers paused. Even the DJ turned off the background music. Liam burst into tears. "You can't do this." "I can," Chief said, "and I will. This marriage is already buried. I won't let my daughter walk into shame while smiling for camera phones." Terry rushed forward. "Chief, please." But Chief Gary raised his hand again. "You disrespected my family, And worse, you disrespected a woman who did nothing but love you. That is the highest form of foolishness. You don't deserve either of them." Then Chief turned to me, and this is where the real twist came. Chief Gary walked to me slowly, not aggressive, not angry, just quiet. He stopped directly in front of me. The twins were now standing beside me, holding my hands. "Bianca?" he said. "May I speak with you?" I nodded, of course. He took a few steps away, and I followed him, the twins beside me. We moved toward a quieter part of the garden near the palm wine stand. He looked at the twins first. "They're beautiful." "Thank you." "You raised them well?" "I did my best." Then he looked at me. "I've seen a lot of things in this life. I've made money, I've made enemies, I've buried friends, but I've never seen a woman handle disgrace with the type of dignity you just did." I smiled faintly. "Life trained me." He chuckled. "I believe it." He continued, "I watched you when you walked in. I told Liam you had class. She said you were just her fiancé's ex, but something about you reminded me of my late wife. Calm, sharp tongue, steel inside velvet." I didn't know what to say, so I stayed quiet. Then he said, "I have a proposal." My brows furrowed. "Excuse me?" "Not the romantic kind," he added quickly, chuckling. "I mean, a business proposal, an opportunity." Now I was interested. "You mentioned you run a bridal rental business, yes?" "Yes." "Well, I own a few event centers, including this one. I also have stakes in a bridal retail chain in Abuja. We've been looking for someone with grassroots knowledge, Lagos H connection, and creative ideas. I've seen what you do online. Quiet, but effective. Would you be interested in taking up regional management?" I blinked. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious." I couldn't believe it. I came here expecting mockery, and now I was being offered power. "But why me?" He smiled. "Because you turned shame into strategy. That's the kind of mind I want managing my brand. You walk into fire and come out with your head high. That's not ordinary." Tears filled my eyes. "Thank you, sir." "Thank you." "Call me Gary," he said, laughing. Then he looked down at the twins again. "May I?" I nodded. He bent down and shook their hands like they were little businessmen. "I'm Gary. I'm your new business partner, and possibly your biggest fan." The twins giggled. Suddenly, we heard raised voices back at the reception. "Liam, come back." "No, I'm done. You lied. You embarrassed me. You'll regret this. Just like you regret your twins." Crowd again. Phones up. Noise. Gary shook his head. "Let's not go back there. Come with me." "To where?" "Inside. Office wing of the hall. Let's sort this contract. Let's change your life." As I followed him, people stared, but not with mockery this time, with respect. Women whispered, "That's Bianca." Men shook their heads in awe. She won. Even the MC cleared his throat and announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, short break while we, re-strategize." One of the servers passed me a chilled malt. "You strong, ma," she whispered. I nodded and whispered back, "I've cried enough. Now it's my turn to rise." Chief Gary's office in the venue was colder than I expected. Fully air-conditioned, leather chairs, a glass table with files neatly stacked, and a faint scent of expensive oud. I sat on the other side, my boys beside me, still holding their small juice packs from the wedding reception. They were unbothered, like they hadn't just shattered a whole event with their existence. Gary sat across from me, tapping a file gently. "Bianca, you okay with paperwork now, or should I give you till tomorrow?" I smiled. "Now is fine, sir. I mean, Gary." He returned the smile. "You really are composed." As he brought out the proposal, there was a knock at the door. It was one of the guards. "Sir, Mr. Terry is outside. He says he needs to speak with you. Urgently." Gary sighed. "Let him in." Terry stormed in like a man who had lost both money and sense. "Gary, with all due respect, what's going on here?" Gary raised a brow. "Terry, calm down. You're shouting." "No, I won't calm down. This woman, this witch, ruined my wedding, and now she's sitting here like some CEO. What is all this?" I stood up slowly. "Careful, Terry. I'm still the mother of your sons." "My what?" he shouted. "You tricked me." Gary stood too. Don't raise your voice at her in my presence. Oh, now you're defending her. What about your daughter? She's heartbroken. She'll heal, Gary said flatly. But I won't let her marry a man who lies so effortlessly. Terry turned to me, furious. So this is your plan? You brought the twins to ruin me? I didn't bring them, I said calmly. They came. Ask your cousin, Gary. My cousin? Yes, I added. The same cousin who knew you weren't man enough to face your past. Terry turned to the boys. You really expect me to believe they're mine? I reached into my bag again. Here, another copy of the paternity test. Take it. Frame it. He took it, stared at it, then flung it on the floor. I want custody, he said suddenly. I laughed, a deep, sarcastic laugh that came from my stomach. Custody? Of who? The same boys you didn't know existed until 30 minutes ago? You want to father them with what? Your ego? I'm their father. By biology, but parenting is not by sperm alone. Gary stepped between us. That's enough. Terry, leave. This is madness. No, this is consequences. Terry looked at me one last time, and for the first time since I arrived at the wedding, I saw it. Regret. His eyes were softer now. Lost. He opened the door and walked out slowly. I sat back down. Gary smiled. You didn't even flinch. I've cried too much in the past. Now I protect my peace like a lioness. I like that. Then he handed me the pen. Let's sign. While I was inside signing contracts and sealing a whole new future, Liam was outside, so pacing in circles, phone in hand, makeup ruined, voice shaky. You saw that? She said into the phone. You saw what just happened? The voice on the other end spoke gently. Yes, Liam. It's trending already. Trending? Oh, God. Her assistant tried to calm her. Madam, we can still spin this. You can say you didn't know he had an ex-wife and the kids were faked. Liam stared at her assistant like she just said Satan was her uncle. You think this is a Nollywood script? People saw the twins. They heard him call Terry daddy. Even my own father walked out on the wedding. You want me to lie again? Then, in frustration, she picked up the wedding bouquet and threw it into the swimming pool. I need a break. I'm traveling. To where? The assistant asked. Liam turned. Anywhere that doesn't smell like shame. Back inside, I was packing the signed documents when Gary cleared his throat. One more thing. I looked up. Yes? This might be unprofessional, but I need to say it anyway. My heart paused. Go on. He looked serious now, like his next words had weight. I meant what I said earlier, about you reminding me of my late wife, but I think you've changed something in me. I blinked. Gary? No, I know it's fast. I know we just met properly today, but watching you face all this with that kind of grace, it's rare, and I'd like to know you better, outside of business. I didn't speak, not because I was offended, but because my mind was rewinding the past 5 years. Terry, infertility, judgment, silence, healing. Now, this? Gary, I said slowly, right now, my focus is my boys, and this business. I'm not ready for anything. Emotional. I understand, he nodded. I'm not asking for a relationship, just permission to know the woman who handled a storm like a queen. I smiled. I'll think about it. That's all I ask. I was about to leave the office when a loud voice echoed through the building. It was Terry. Again. This time he wasn't shouting. He was arguing with the event manager. I heard, you can't lock me out of my own venue. Then I heard Gary's voice. Calm. Powerful. This venue is not yours, Terry. It never was. You let me use it for free. I let you use it as a favor, but now that favor has expired. Security, walk him out. Terry's face was red. You're joking, right? Gary shook his head. You have until midnight to remove your things. After that, you'll need to pay for every extra hour you spend here. The guests were confused. Photographers paused. The decorators froze mid-removal. Terry looked like his chest was about to explode. Liam's bridesmaids quickly started picking her makeup boxes. Caterers began packing their coolers. And me? I stepped outside, twins beside me, and for the first time in a long time, I felt whole. Terry saw us. He tried to say something, but he couldn't speak. He just looked at me, the boys Beanca and Gary, standing in one frame like a victory photo. I walked past him slowly, heels clicking on the marble floor like a song of revenge. When I passed by him, I whispered, You said I was empty. But now look at me. I'm full. Of life. Of sons. Of power. And you? You're full of regret. He didn't respond. He just watched me walk out of his wedding, holding hands with the twin boys he never knew he had. Outside the garden venue, the evening breeze had calmed. Palm trees rustled as the sun dipped into a soft orange haze. People were leaving in groups, whispering, gossiping, staring. I stood at the edge of the red carpet walkway with Logan and Luca on either side of me, both munching on leftover small chops from the reception like they hadn't just shaken an entire city. Karen, my best friend, finally showed up, panting and sweating from okrika heels. Bianca! I'm late! I just saw it all on TikTok! My God! You didn't just shake table, you broke the entire dining set. I laughed. You should have been here earlier. Terry's tears could have watered your plants. She hugged me tight. You did it. You really did it. Gary joined us then with 2 security men carrying gift bags and signed paperwork turning. This is Chief Gary Uzo. Wait. The Chief Uzo? As in Liam's dad? The oil boss? He extended a hand. At your service. Karen almost fainted. Jesus is Lord, Gary chuckled. Bianca, you forgot to mention your best friend is dramatic. She runs on drama and fried plantain, I replied. Karen grabbed my hand. Please, if you're going to marry this man, let me be maid of honor. I'm ready. Anne, who is marrying? I asked, raising an eyebrow. Gary laughed. Don't worry, no pressure. But I must confess, I haven't felt this alive in years. Karen's eyes danced. Omo Bianca, billionaire day, you. I shook my head, but inside, something warm flickered. A part of me that had been dead for so long was slowly breathing again. Across the street, I spotted Terry slumped inside a tinted Lexus. Alone. Abandoned. His agbada was crumpled, face swollen from either heat or heartbreak or both. He looked up and saw me. We locked eyes, and for a brief moment I saw him. Not the man who mocked me, not the ego that dumped me, but the broken version of who I once loved. I felt no hate, just nothing, and maybe that was healing. Karen took the boys ahead to the car. Gary followed. I stood alone for a second. I brought out my phone. 1 missed call from blocked number. 2 voice notes. I opened them. Bianca, it's me. I know I've lost everything. I know I messed up, but please, just let me explain. I want to know them. I want to know the boys. I don't care if you hate me. I just want to be in their lives. They're all I have left. I stared at the screen, then deleted both voice notes. As I entered the car, Logan asked, Mummy, is that man going to be our daddy now? I looked back at Terry one last time, then faced forward. No, I replied. You already have one, and that's enough. Hey, story lovers, before we enter the final moment of this story, take a second and subscribe to the channel. Click that red button, turn on your bell icon, and join us every day for more hot, spicy, emotional African stories that leave you thinking. Support us, share, like, comment. It helps more than you know. Now back to the story. The twins were now in a proper school. Uniform, lunchboxes, and everything they'd ever dreamed of. My bridal business? I was no longer just renting gowns. I now owned 3 bridal showrooms across Port Harcourt, Owerri, and Gorimpa, all under the umbrella of Uzo and Bianca Weddings Inc. Gary and I had become close. He didn't rush. He didn't pressure. He just showed up. Every morning text. Every school pickup. Every late-night check-in with, did you eat? He became a man I didn't have to beg for effort. And that was love I didn't know I deserved. We had just finished a successful business pitch when Gary pulled me aside. The boardroom had cleared. Only the lights from the city twinkled below us. My sons were asleep at his guest house with his housekeeper. He stood beside me at the glass window. Bianca, he began, voice soft. You've rebuilt your life with fire, and you've carried those boys like royalty. I've watched you turn pain into purpose. And I don't want to just be a bystander anymore. I turned to him. Gary, he reached into his jacket, not pulling out a ring, but a small gold locket. Inside were 3 photos. Me, Luca, Logan. I'm not asking you to marry me today. I know your journey has been long, but I am asking, can I walk with you? Be part of your story? Not as a savior, just as someone who believes in you? I didn't cry. I didn't gasp. I just held his hand and whispered, you already are. Terry showed up at the boys' football practice. He kept his distance, but when Logan missed a goal and began to cry, he approached gently and handed him a water bottle. I watched from the other end of the field. He wasn't forcing it. He was learning. And for the first time, I saw Terry not as my mistake, but as the father of my boys, doing his best in the smallest way he knew how. And that was enough for me. People thought I'd come to Terry's wedding to beg, to cry, to crumble. But sometimes you go back to the place of your shame, not to fight, but to win quietly. I didn't just walk out of that wedding with twins. I walked out with truth, with respect, with a second chance at building something real. And now, I no longer pray for the past to return. I pray for the wisdom to never go back. What do you think, story lovers? Did Bianca handle things the right way? Should Terry have been given a second chance? Was Gary moving too fast? Let's talk in the comments. Check the right corner of your screen to watch more drama-packed stories just like this one. Story and Soul, African Urban Tales. Subscribe, share, comment. Come back for more.